Hi everyone, my name is Matt Hall, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. I talk about movies occasionally, but my passion really is filmmaking and acting. I do comedy sketches. I haven't made a video in a very long time, but I thought what better way to reopen the channel by sitting down and talking about some great movies from 2023. So happy New Year's if you're new to the channel, and if you like the video, you can subscribe and like it and whatnot, but no pressure. So when talking about the movies that came out in 2023, I of course did not see all of them. In fact, there were quite a few that I missed. I missed Anatomy of a Fall, I missed The Iron Claw, I missed Across the Spider-Verse, John Wick Chapter 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, so I do apologize that those will not be making the list. That being said, there were some really great movies that came out that didn't make the list, and I do want to give those an honorable mention. Joyride, really funny movie with a very likable cast. Saltburn, probably the most provocative movie I saw in 2023. May December, definitely not a comedy. Don't know why it's nominated for that at the Golden Globes, but really strong story. Charles Melton kills this role. Oppenheimer, objectively, probably the best movie of the year. I like this movie a lot. I think I'm gonna respond to it a lot more once I rewatch it. I feel like I need to do that with certain movies, and this is probably one of them. Same goes for Killers of the Flower Moon, which is my next honorable mention. Please don't click off the video. Great movie, excellent performances. Martin Scorsese directs this movie that could have been really painful to watch because of the subject matter. Tells this story in a way that makes it a lot more palatable without compromising the drama or the horror of this event. And Past Lives, which is an excellent romantic drama with a really great performance from Greta Lee. This year, I was a lot more interested in the smaller, kind of more independent movies than I was in some of the big budget blockbusters. And because this is a subjective list, of course we're gonna disagree on stuff. I'm sure a lot of you are probably writing in the comments how I don't know anything about film because Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer and Past Lives are not on this list. But this is subjective. These are the top 10 movies that impacted me the most in 2023, that gave me the most thrills and chills, and plus, opinions change. In about a year, I might look back on this and be kicking myself that I didn't put Oppenheimer at number 1. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll feel ashamed at some point. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into the list. At number 10 is The Killer. I was so happy that I went out to the theater to see this. There was a showing at a theater about 10 minutes away from me, and I went out to see it because I knew seeing a David Fincher movie about a hitman on the big screen would be a really great decision, and it was. A lot of people have said that this movie's a lot more straightforward than most of David Fincher's movies, and it totally is. However, David Fincher's directing is so sharp and so tight that it elevates this somewhat average story about a hitman going for revenge. But I really dug this movie. Michael Fassbender hasn't really been in a lot of movies over the last few years, and there were a couple movies like The Snowman and Assassin's Creed that he was in that didn't do too great. It's really nice to see kind of a return to form for him. This is a great performance, scary, but also somewhat sympathetic. The more that I think about this movie, the more I want to rewatch it, and you know what? Give me like 2 hours. I'm going to come back and do this video. I'm going to go rewatch it right now. Number 9, the most recent movie that I saw on this list, and that is American Fiction. Jeffrey Wright is a phenomenal actor. I don't know if I've just been sleeping on it, but this is the first time, I think, that I've seen him in a leading role, and wow, he crushes it. In a Just World, he would be nominated for Best Actor. I think he's so great in this movie and so funny. This is a fucking hilarious movie. There are so many great funny parts, especially with Sterling K. Brown, who's also excellent in this movie. But there's also a family drama element to this that really impacted me. I thought this was so well done. And as someone who was an English major in university, I love seeing movies about writers, especially with the topics of trying to get their books published and kind of what that whole background is like. And I really liked this movie's commentary on how writers can be pigeonholed and how that can be kind of a dangerous thing. Number 8 is Dream Scenario. Who doesn't love Nicolas Cage? Like, seriously? Nick Cage is great in this movie. He's always good, you know? And even when he's bad, he's even greater. But this is a really interesting movie. It's different. It's different for sure. And a lot of people have been saying that this is a movie about cancel culture. I think this is a really great movie because I definitely see the allegory that this movie has about cancel culture. But I also think this is a movie that can be interpreted in multiple ways. I don't think it's just about that. I think there's a lot going on in this movie that you could take a lot from. I've heard somebody make the argument that this is about somebody who wants to feel special. I really liked this movie for the message in it, but also just for the weirdness, the Nicolas Cage performance, and that one scene that where if you've seen the movie, you know the scene I'm talking about, the one where you want to pull your hair out. That was a great scene. Number 7 is the weirdest movie of the year, and that is Beau is Afraid. I love weird movies. I really do. Ari Aster is a great filmmaker. I love his short films. And Hereditary and Midsommar were some of the best horror movies of the 2010s, in my opinion. I really love that he kept the same weirdness. I mean, he amplified the weirdness. But he played with a little bit of a different tone and made it like a dark comedy. I thought this was such a different movie that kind of reinvented itself every 30 to 40 minutes. But this is such a bizarre movie, and it's stuck with me ever since. A lot of people will tell you about the giant penis monster in the attic with this movie. This movie is so weird that I forgot about the giant penis monster. How fucking weird can your movie be when you forget about a penis monster in the attic? If you haven't seen the movie, I probably sound like I'm talking nonsense. Number 6 is the best dad movie of the year, and that is Air. This is a movie about a shoe, and it's riveting. Matt Damon is reliably great in pretty much everything that he does. Add Ben Affleck to the mix, and you've got yourself a winner. Add in the supporting cast of Jason Bateman, Viola Davis, Chris Messina, and Chris Tucker, and you've got a really, really great movie. The screenwriter of this movie, I think this is his first credit. Dude, keep doing movies. Holy shit, you are so good at writing great dialogue. This is such a fun movie to watch. It's kind of light in the fact, I mean, you know they're gonna land the deal, right? Because Air Jordan exists. But this is a really interesting story. Great motivational speeches from Matt Damon in this movie. I don't know, like sometimes those can be cheesy, but I really didn't mind the cheesiness of this. It felt like a dad movie, but I mean that as a compliment. This feels like one that you could watch on a Saturday afternoon with your dad, maybe have like a bonding moment. Number 5 is the biggest surprise of the year, and that is Talk to Me. 2022 was such an excellent year for horror movies that 2023 actually felt pretty underwhelming in comparison. However, there was one movie that came out in 2023 that really spoke to me, no pun intended. I saw the trailer for this movie and I thought, that looks fucking stupid. But some friends invited me out to see it and I thought, okay, why not? I'll give it a shot. I'm a team player. And I really loved it. This was made by like 2 YouTubers in Australia, and that's pretty awesome. But this is a really dark, disturbing movie that definitely got under my skin, and that's what I like in a horror movie. I like it when they get under my skin. I like when they bug me. This one got to me, and I highly recommend this to any horror fans. You're gonna love this movie. You're in for a treat. Number 4 is The Holdovers. I think Paul Giamatti should win Best Actor. I think he's great. I think he's great in everything that he does. This is no exception. In fact, this is probably his best performance I've ever seen. Divine Joy Randolph also deserves some serious Oscar buzz. She's definitely getting that, but I think she should win. And Dominic Sessa is fantastic in this movie. I believe this is his first on-screen role. He's done a lot of theater and stuff, but this is his first film role, and he kills it. He's great. He has great chemistry with Paul Giamatti. This is just a sweet movie. Alexander Payne apparently didn't really like that people saw this as a sweet Christmas movie. I get that there's some bitterness in this movie. There's a bitter character, and there are some things that are left unresolved, but I like that, and I still think this is a really sweet movie, and you should be proud that you made a sweet movie, Alexander Payne. So, like, relax, sir. All right, we're in the nitty gritty. We're in the top 3. And number 3 is Barbie. That's right. I liked Barbie more than Oppenheimer. They're not really comparable to each other, but I like Barbie more. This made me fall in love with Ryan Gosling. It also made me fall in love with the song Push by Matchbox 20, which I have definitely overplayed at some open mic nights. This is a movie that had a really good message, told it in a very good way, with a lot of humor and a lot of satire. I think that this is probably one of the best examples of giving your audience a very clear message without being heavy-handed or annoying in the way that you're trying to tell that story. Number 2 is Blackberry. Listen, if this is your first time on my channel, I'm a Canadian, and I love when Canadian cinema or Canadian TV is really, really good. And Matt Johnson is one of the best Canadian directors working today, in my opinion. He's so good at making this real life story have a lot of humor, have a lot of energy and intensity. This is such a fun movie to watch, and it's something that could have been really boring. I mean, it's a movie about a cell phone, but it's done in a way that was so fun, so engaging. The performances, oh my gosh, the performances in this movie are so excellent. Glenn Howerton is great in this movie. He's not going to get the recognition that he deserves, unfortunately, but I think he should, because he can do a lot more than just Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny. And Jay Baruchel, wow. I always knew Jay Baruchel was a good actor, but this is easily his best performance that he's ever given. And my number 1 favorite movie of 2023 is You Hurt My Feelings. This year, I've really come to love independent movies, especially like independent comedies and dramas, ones that are just kind of slice of life. And this totally gave me what I wanted to see this year, a movie that kind of inspired me and felt like it was something I could go out and make, hypothetically. This is also a movie about relationships, which is something I'm really interested in. I love watching movies about relationships and complicated relationships. This is about a minor marital dispute, but it brings up some great questions about trust and loyalty in a relationship that you've been in, especially one for a long time. And this is one of the funniest movies of the year. It's got some great performances. What I really loved about this movie, though, is that it's a really easy movie to watch. This is basically a comfort movie, and I really needed a comfort movie this year. So with that, those are my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. Let me know what your favorite movies were down below. Also, thank you to any returning subscribers watching this video. I do want you to know that I will be making more videos very soon. Took a little bit of a break, but you know what? I'm very excited to get back into it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. And as always, stay groovy, watch a movie.